Supposed to stop at 3.
I got a mallet on order.
We are live. Good morning, everyone. This is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026 at about 11, and this is the House Republican Caucus. At the leadership meeting this morning, as you're all aware, she told us at this morning at like 9:45 that H205, H512, and H545 have been postponed one day. Why do I have? 512 and 205. I think that's it. Yeah, we did 545. So if you have a bill, like we sent several bills today to appropriations, my understanding is they're going to kind of corral all of those to see what's going to be coming in this week and try to figure out maybe which ones they may be able to finance and which ones they may not be able to finance. So they may be pulling some of the money out of some of the bills that were sent there. If you happen to have a bill from your committee on the list and you haven't seen it coming out, that's the reason why they're holding them until, I would assume, towards the end of this week, crossover, and then we'll probably see a slew of them come out next week. So having said that, be prepared to have longer floor times, and this week especially, probably longer committee times to try to get those bills out of your committees. Floor time this week is still, today was 10, tomorrow is 3:30, Thursday's 3:30, and Friday is 9:30. Next week, we switch to the 10, Wednesday, Thursdays at 1. So that should help considerably with timing. And then Friday at 9:30, similarly. So just be prepared for later nights this week, possibly, especially Wednesday, Thursday. And then next week, we'll start at 1. So might hopefully not be as late. Let's see, what else did we talk about? March 19th, which is not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we will have a joint assembly regarding judicial retention. My understanding is 6 judges are up for retention. So that will be a long, probably an hour and a half or so to get through those 6 judges. And then floor will be at 1. So it'll probably be 10:30 that. So the whole day on Thursday probably is going to be on the floor for the joint assembly and then back on the floor at 1 for bills. My understanding is the ed bill as a whole, the speaker has been told by the President Pro Tem that they'll entertain an extension of crossover for the education bill. And excuse me? No. And then the Education Committee, just so everybody's aware, Education Committee is working on the maps, the governance, school construction, special ed, and Ways and Means is somewhat involved in the financing of that. Human Services, while they don't have possession, they're drawing up the language for the pre-K, and that will be rolled into this education bill when it finally gets done. My understanding is CTE program, the Senate is laying out the framework, and that will come to the House Commerce, and then House Commerce will then deal with their language that they've been talking about and inserting it into the Senate bill. And that's all I have. That's it. Okay. So I know we have several bills on notice, and several bills actually went to appropriations, 4 or 5 of them. So does anybody have any, like what they're dealing with this week? Like we know what's on notice, but anything that this is the week that it needs to get out of your committee. So are there bills that you're hoping get out of committee, not hoping, get out of committee. Rather not see them go anywhere, Topper.
Well, governance, 585 is, one that will come out.
It will come out. Okay,
Well, I can't say where it's going to come out.
looking like,
It's looking like it's going to be,
okay.
come out, but there's a lot of controversy in it. Now, suddenly at the very end, and it's being ripped apart. We're gonna vote on it this week, I believe, and we're gonna vote on it section by section.
Okay. So if you vote no, it gets pulled from the bill?
Like your miscellaneous bill?
No.
No, it's the omnibus bill.
On this, it's about insurance also. But there's representation on, boards, et cetera. It's a long bill. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff in it. And frankly, I don't know, as of the meeting that I had this morning with the chair, I'm not sure what actually is gonna be in it. That's why I don't wanna get into it right now.
All right, well, keep
But
us.
that's a big one. That's.
Yeah, keep us updated on that.
I will know today sometime.
Okay,
Big meeting happening this afternoon.
okay. Keep us,
I might know tonight.
okay, keep us posted. All right, good. Unfair, go ahead.
H70, the Friday before we left, we had some really good testimony. Four folks came in the Environment Committee. H70 is the bill to include the current use land in Act 59, 30 by 30 and 50 by 50. It's been off the agenda for this week. We talked to the speaker and others to try to have it get back on. It looks like it's on again for Wednesday for a possible vote as well. Really important bill. Again, there's roughly 5.9 million acres of land mass in Vermont. 1.6 million is currently, or 27% roughly, is currently protected, permanently protected, they call it. Regardless of that term, permanently protected, current use land is, working lands for forestry and ag, and really important. And even if that was included, one of the concerns with one of the committee members was, well, would all the conservation efforts stop? And of course, you can believe certainly that it wouldn't from all the different groups in Vermont. So important that we get it out there, get a vote, and hopefully we can get it passed.
Did you have your hand up?
It was a question on 585 specifically. Is the health share
Yes.
language still in there?
Yes.
How do we get in to testify on that? Are you still taking testimony on that?
Yes, but it'll have to be, honest to God, I don't know. The agenda is so full. I don't know if we're even gonna get what we need to get done. So some of it may be got, but if you want to testify. Yeah, I'll see if I can get you.
Okay.
Now, how about just like a written testimony?
Yeah, we will accept written testimony.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Was there something else? No. Okay, Brenda.
We have a bill that my committee's working on, H 657, about taking responsibility for runaway youth, children aging out of foster care. There's quite a bit in it, restrainment, yeah. And I see a lot of potential unintentional things that can happen. Vermont getting all the runaway youth from the United States. And where we're gonna put them if we take responsibility for costs, all their costs. I see unintentional cost, not even just at the moment for legal aid to get them separated from their parents, where we're gonna house them. I see so many red flags that I would like my fellow people to look at it too. Thank you.
Anyone else?
One
Tom?
question for Mark, and this is a question that was raised by constituents this morning. If the land that is in current use is counted towards the 30 by 50, is there a risk that additional conservation regulations are going to apply to current use lands?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The other thing that's important to understand is Vermont Farm Bureau has signed on to it. Vermont Forest Products Association has signed on to it. Professional logging contractors have signed on to it, and the Rural Caucus is also supportive. So again, but no, the answer to that is absolutely not.
And I believe the acreage is like 2.6 million.
2.5,
And if
yeah.
you could include it, I think we're at the 50 by the year 2050. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Michael and then somebody over here.
To follow on what Patty said, it's a very successful program. It's still growing. We're growing more trees than we're cutting. We're getting more land into the program than we're losing. It's a better program that we should be holding up as a conservation success instead of holding it back.
I think the big concern is that it's not permanent, and that's where the big argument. Doesn't necessarily stay there like the rest.
Right. And I just talked to a member of the committee who had addressed that at Friday's meeting. And I can tell you as a lister, I can show you conservation easements that have hurt towns. Town of Newport, Newport Center. It has ag land completely around the downtown area. Does not have an opportunity to expand its downtown area whatsoever because of the conservation restrictions that are in all that ag land. Again, I talked to the head of the Vermont Land Trust years ago about possibly looking at some of that land and making purchasing conservation easements somewhere else to free up some of that land. But a lot of times those conservation easements are considered in perpetuity forever. It says that in there. That's just one example, and I can give you many more examples where sometimes conservation easements do hurt a particular area. Another example is in my town, 400-acre farm. The Amish are buying a lot of farms up my way. They didn't consider that one that had all the conservation easements because there was no ability for another house to go on that property. Things like that. But and again, I could go on, but it's a concern for me that some people would want to permanently conserve, and again, it's short-sighted in my mind, 50% of Vermont's working lands in Vermont. So.
Mark, Brenda, what's the number of that bill you were talking
I
about?
think it's H.657.
Mark, still have the option to get out of current use.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nothing changes with the current use program whatsoever.
The other issue, I mean, as a town clerk for 26 years, in my 26 years, we had one 10-acre parcel removed from the current use, all of the land that Pulteney has in current use. There was one. So people have to, when they get into current use, and Mark could probably speak more on this as a lister, there are plans that have to be followed every 10 years, a forestry and ag plan that the landowners actually have to go to the expense of having this done. I think it's every 10 years, correct? I don't know if you want to add any more.
Well, just the penalty, a lot of people talk about the penalty. Well, it all depends on where you live. I mean, in Lowell, if you took out 10 acres, I would say you could probably say it's worth $50,000, you know? But you go 100 miles south to Woodstock, I had a representative tell me that 10 acres down there just sold for over $400,000. Again, it was assessed value at $333,000, so that 10% penalty is $33,000 compared to $5,000 up in Lowell. So it's not a pittance when it comes to you're thinking you're going to take out a certain amount of land. So and again, the acreage is increasing, not decreasing over the years.
Anyone else have any other bills that are being worked on this week? I noticed that Lieutenant Governor Rogers is here. Would you like to stand up and give a last pitch effort for your dive into the lake on Saturday?
Yeah, number one, thank you, everybody who did contribute, and if you want to contribute, you can go on the Penguin Plunge website or stop in and see James, but yeah, I'll be jumping in the lake. A lot of people tell me to go jump in the lake. This weekend, I'm gonna do it. Oh, time. And so, I mean, just, while I have all your attention, I just briefly would like to say that we can't take our focus off 181 and the changes that need to be made. And we need to make sure that we have amendments, thoughtful amendments prepared and be ready to put folks on the record, because no rural representative or senator should have ever supported that in the first place. And they should all be working really hard with us to correct it.
Thank you. Anyone else in their committees? No? Transportation at a week, so stay tuned. We have till March 20th to get our bill out.
Again, I know, it's one thing where a friend of mine took out 15 acres so his daughter could build a house out of the interest. I think he had to put some in somewhere else. And I'm taking 15 acres that I currently use to build some houses. So can't do what you do, is you gotta pay like 3 times, but.
Correct. Right, but I think testimony from what Mike Tagliavia got in committee was more acreage is coming in than people taking out.
Forex.
So, yeah.
Every year, it's monotonically increasing every
Yep.
year. About 1% per year, 10% per decade.
Yep.
And so the in perpetuity argument or lack thereof for UVA land is irrelevant. It's always going to, and you know exactly, we know very clear records exactly how much it's in. If it ever starts to turn around and come down, we would know immediately.
Right.
So the in perpetuity argument is hollow.
Anything else? No? Okay, you can take us